you will please rise for the pledge and remain standing for the invocation. I do not see Reverend Turner, so we're going to ask Mr. Kavir to do our invocation for us.
Okay. There's a prayer, it's based on, it's from Abraham Lincoln. He says, with malice towards none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to protect our citizens and preserve our city. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Joe. Mike, if you'll take the roll call, please.
Councilman Wurzbacher.
Present.
Councilman Lloyd is asked to be excused. Councilman Schlack.
Present.
Councilman Barr.
Here.
Councilman Valerius.
Here.
Councilwoman Nick.
Here.
And Mayor McLeod.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you.
And Treasurer.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Valerius.
Second.
Second by Mr. Barr. Any corrections or changes?
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to take off the, where it has the Beautification Commissioner. I'd like to table that.
I second that.
Well, remove or table?
I'm sorry, I'd like to table it.
To table, okay. And that would be Ms. Nick and Mr. Wurzbacher second. Any other changes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is tabled. Thank you. I would like a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of May 27th.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Valerius,
Second.
second by Ms. Nick. Any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is carried. We will now have a proclamation for the 250th birthday of the United States Army. Whereas on June 14th, 1775, the Second Continental Congress established the United States Army, marking the birth of America's military and the beginning of its fight for freedom and independence. And whereas for nearly 250 years, the Army has stood as a guardian of liberty, providing security to our nation, maintaining readiness and lethality, and promoting peace worldwide. And whereas the courage, dedication, and sacrifice of Army soldiers, veterans, and their families have ensured the safety and prosperity of our nation and the freedoms we cherish. And whereas the United States Army remains steadfast in its mission to serve and defend, building strong ties with local communities, and fostering partnerships that strengthen the fabric of our greater nation. And whereas the City of Allen Park recognizes the Army's pivotal role in shaping our nation's history, security, and freedom. Now, therefore, the City of Allen Park does hereby proclaim June 14, 2025 as United States Army Day and urge all our citizens to observe this day with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Allen Park, Michigan, be affixed this 10th day of June, 2025. Thank you. And now we will move on to the City Treasurer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everyone. During tax time, I received many questions on why and how the city collects taxes. So while we're currently going through the tax statement preparation, I thought I would provide a quick overview of how our city collects taxes and why our tax revenues tend to be heavier in the summer. So this is sort of a city tax collection 101, if you will. So what taxes does the city collect? So in Allen Park, we collect two types of taxes: the real property taxes, which are taxes from homeowners and business owners. In our city, we also collect personal property taxes, which come from business owners, their property contents. So they don't have to own the building to pay those personal property taxes. They just have to occupy the space. The main source, though, is that real property taxes. Property owners pay based on the assessed value of their property. We have city assessors here, and they use a mill rate set by the city. So a lot of questions are, what is a mill rate? A mill rate is a way to calculate property taxes for homeowners and businesses in a city. It represents the amount of tax paid for every $1,000 of property's assessed value. So a mill is equal to $1 of tax for every $1,000 of property value. So for example, a mill rate of 10 means you pay $10 in tax for every 1,000 of your property's value. If it was a mill rate of 20, it'd be $20 for every 1,000. So that's how that works. So it's $1, it's equal to $1 of tax for every $1,000 of property value. So in essence, the mill rate converts property value into a tax amount. What are the other taxes on my bill is another popular call that we get. So in addition to the city operating taxes, we also collect county taxes, regional school taxes such as Wayne Risa, state education taxes, local taxes for library, rubbish, any city millages, public safety, drains, and sometimes specific assessments. Some homeowners this summer who didn't pay their water bill, they will receive this on their taxes as well. Why are my taxes different from my neighbors is another call. Well, assessors set the home value based on a number of factors such as recent home improvements, and they're verifying these home improvements not only through the building department, but some people who might skip the building department, the assessors will look on the computer, the GPS image of your home, and compare it from year to year. So if you put in a pool or built a deck, that's something that they can identify, and that could raise your taxes. Also, home sales in the area, that could make your taxes different, but another reason your taxes could be different is due to a principal residence exemption, a PRE. So some people next to you might be renting, or they may have owned the house less time, different examples, but if they have a PRE, that could cause that to be different. In the upcoming issue of the Allen Park Today, I submitted a whole page detailing exactly where your money goes. The example I gave is based on the Allen Park School District and someone with a PRE. So you could have a non-PRE, or you could live in one of our other districts, one of our other school districts, but that just gives you a snapshot of that basic example, which is the majority of our residents. Why are taxes heavier in the summer? A significant reason for increased tax collection in the summer is the timing of property tax payments tied to school budgets. In Allen Park, property owners pay their property taxes twice a year, and in this upcoming summer tax season, we collect on behalf of our schools. Winter is the only city and county collections, and it's significantly lower. Due to our collecting from the 3 school districts, Allen Park Public Schools is the main school district, but we also have Melodale Northern Allen Park and a small section of Southern Allen Park, which is my neighborhood, which collects the Southgate schools. So this makes the assessment and statement structure a lot more complicated, a lot more complex, and very time-consuming. This tax statement due dates. The summer tax statement is mailed on July 1st and is due August 15th. We allow you till the end of the month, but the actual due date is the 15th, and that will be all detailed on your tax statement. I've been busy the last few weeks preparing because I have to get them sent out to a printer by the 17th, which is next week. In conclusion, in summary, our city relies primarily on real property taxes, which collect in the summer due to fund school payments, their tax payments for their millages and such. Also, we do it in the summer to fund our recently passed city budget, so those tie together, and the funding of essential city projects and services that benefit our residents. I hope this helps clear up any confusion and answer questions, but if you still need help analyzing your statement or have specific questions, please don't hesitate to call my office or email me. My information can be found on the treasurer's page of the city's website, my email or phone number, or if you're in the office, you can ask to speak to me, or Kristen or one of our assessors could be able to help you with some basic questions as well. Also, please excuse me a little bit later. After public comments, I'll be headed back to the office to finish up on some work I'm doing on these taxes. But thank you very much for your time, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
I do. Tim, do we have any type of payment plans that residents can get on? I know others.
Sorry, I'm not taking any questions. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll ask you later.
yeah, we do. We have what's called a summer deferment. So if you have to qualify for that, and all that information is on the treasurer's page of my website. But yeah, you can defer those taxes without penalty until February 14th, which is the absolute, the deadline without having penalties. But there are certain circumstances that you have to qualify for that. We have some that have to do with low-income folks and other situations like that. Those are primarily handled by our city assessor. They do the qualifications for those, but all that information could be found on our website.
Okay, I had a resident tell me that, like, say, I'm just gonna say her taxes are $2,000 for the summer, and then it comes out, she gets it, and then because she can't handle her money very well, so she'll pay like $500 the first month.
Yeah.
And then you guys keep track, and then she'll pay $500 the second month, but she will have it paid by August 15th.
Yeah, and you can
I
make
never
payments.
realized I always just paid it all at once.
You can make payments up till that due date. And technically, it's the end of August, but we prefer to have it by the 15th so we can get everybody their money.
Okay.
We offer that service to our schools for free, collection of their taxes. But we like to get that in by the 15th, but you have until the end of the month, I believe.
Okay, so they can pay a portion of it
Sure.
each month or whenever, and then, okay, thank you.
Yeah, we'll take their money anytime, as long as it's not late.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The county has to take it, right?
Yeah, and that's another question this time of year. We have people that are just now getting notices from the county of their delinquent tax bill, and some are caught off guard by it. And whether it's $40 or whether it's $4,000, it's still the same threatening letter because it's a computer that generates and spits these off. So they're threatening to put a lien on my house for a $40 balance. I'm like, you just got to understand the process. But anything, even if this was a mistake, like a check lost in the mail or something, we don't send a second tax statement out if we don't receive them. So if we don't get those tax bills by the end of February, on March 1st, they're automatically sent to the county. The county cuts us a check for all those delinquencies and makes us whole again, and then they collect on our behalf. Of course, they apply their own fees and penalties on top of that as well. So what could be a $700 bill to start with may end up being an $850 bill or something. But the sooner you pay those off, the less expensive it is. And unfortunately, we cannot take any late taxes after February 14th or February 28th. We can no longer take them here at the city. We've been settled. The county has paid us, and they unfortunately have to take care of that at the county level.
Okay, thank you.
Certainly, my pleasure.
Any other questions? Before we move on to the city administrator's report, we do need to make a correction regarding the motions and the seconds. To get back to the original agenda, the original motion was by Mr. Valerius and the second was by Mr. Barr, and then the motion to remove was Ms. Nick and Mr. Wurzbacher. We have to make sure that the original motion and seconders are approve that change. Is that acceptable to the two of you? Yes? Thank you. I don't think we need to take another vote, but we'll have that in the proper order. And now we will move on to the city administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to give you the administrative report on Tom Murray, the city administrator, is not here tonight, so I'll be giving his report on his behalf. Fire Captain McLeod and Police Lieutenant Segrest will be attending in North American Assailant Conference. Well, they already did. Looks like it was this past week, so they've already been there. The police chief, Aaron Feltz, Administrative Lieutenant Eric Jablonski, and Professional Development Manager Bill Mehall will be attending the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police Conference, June 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Also, with the fire department has one more. Eric Taylor will be attending the FEMA ICF 400 training down in Riverview. And it looks like Parks and Recreation has 4 updates to give. The new Zamboni has arrived. I'm sure a lot of people saw that on social media. And I think the police kind of decided to take ownership of that pretty quick, from what I understand. So that is here and will be in use next 2 months or so. Also in the arena, the new netting that was approved by council has been put up. So everybody, all the spectators be safe from flying pucks and whatever else goes out to the spectators. Parks and Rec dance programs recital took place the last week with over 250 families in attendance, so well attended. Street improvement continues as concrete. Oh, I did skip Parks and Rec. Parks, I apologize for that. Parks and Rec has one more thing. They expanded their senior programs to include chair volleyball, badminton, and square dancing. It looks like they'd be entertaining to watch. And I think, I asked about the chairs, whether they'd be on wheels or not, so I don't know if that's been. No wheels yet. They're doing a trial run with stationary chairs first. Street improvements are continuing. Concrete was poured on Manor from Leslie to Moore on the west side of the street, which includes the driveway approaches to the residents. This week, the contractor will be focused on tearing out the west side of Manor from Moore to Maylon. Concrete sectional replacement on Cortland has begun and will continue over the next couple weeks. A couple intersections will be closed between now and July. That would be Philomene and Cortland. Sorry, Michael. Philomene and Devonshire. The library is getting ready to do a reading kickoff party on the lawn. It'll take place June 14th from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. Special guests include Scoopy, the Culver's mascot, Steve, the balloon guy, and Friends of the Rouge. And one more item, this will be from the HR departments. There's been some position openings, and they have received numerous, I emphasize numerous, qualified application and resumes for the open positions.
Thank you. May I have a motion to accept and file the administrator report?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Schlack.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wurtzbacher. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is accepted. We now come to public comments. Have 5 minutes to speak. We ask that you provide your name and the street on which you live. Please do not provide your full address. And the only other thing we ask is that you be civil.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Len Perota Marquise.
I'm Kelly Jones, Buckingham Avenue.
We're here on behalf of the Historic Commission. We have a new program that we're put together, and we want to go live with it. And I'm going to have Kelly talk about it.
Excellent. Hi. So at the Historic Commission, what we'd like to do is start collecting stories from notable residents, businesses, buildings that tell the history of Allen Park and some that might tell the future of Allen Park. Our idea is to distribute this widely, create a list of people who would be interested in being interviewed about their story. We have a survey that's ready to go, both on a Google form, that's where your QR code on that flyer will take you. So we have it all digital, but we also have the survey ready to be printed for those who may prefer to write their surveys out. The Historical Commission will be looking for volunteers. We expect that there will be a good response on this. We could have anywhere from 3 people to 100 people who are interested in sharing their story. So we'll be looking for volunteers to help us get into the analysis and review of those stories so that we can then collect them and then publish them, prepare them with the help of a videographer, photographer, those kinds of things that we can do to then display at the museum. Did I miss anything?
No, I think you got it.
Excellent. Questions? Anyone interested?
So Kelly, where will they find these? Will they be here at City Hall, like on your showcase over here?
Yeah, we'll have some at the showcase. We'll have a post on Facebook, you can find this, and the city website, it'll be on there too.
Okay, I know Dearborn puts together like a book, something similar to this. And were you thinking maybe later in the future putting together something like this, or?
Maybe, we
Okay.
haven't got that far yet, but this is also, this will allow people, if they want to donate to the museum, or if they have some artifact from Allen Park from years ago that they don't know what to do with, they can contact us. And it's going to be a good program to get some stories out from residents, businesses, whoever wants to put into that.
Okay, one more question. So, some of our past residents have passed on, and I'm just thinking of Dan. Could he write something about his father? and
Absolutely.
put it in there? Okay.
There's
So
a
you're
spot
looking
on there
for-
to nominate for stories too?
Yes, so you can submit your own story, you can nominate on behalf of someone else. There are questions there like, does the nominee know you're nominating them? So that we have a bit more consent about contacting them. But yes, that goes for, trying to have that contact information for the people who are interested in submitting their stories, other people's stories, business contacts that might be submitting their business. So we can also kind of create a list of contacts that are just in general interested in being more involved with the city and with what we're doing at the museum and the Historic Commission.
It seems like a really nice program. Thank you, Kelly.
For example, we just received a letter from a lady that she wrote to us 7 years ago. That ended up
70 years?
7 years ago,
7 years.
telling her story of Allen Park. She lived to be 94, I believe it was. Turns out she lived in the house behind me. And it was just delivered to us a month ago. So this will give us that ability to tell these stories. So, but I hope everyone fills it out and starts up this program.
Thank
So
you.
thank you.
I have a question.
Excellent.
Sure.
Will you be requesting like photographs? I know you have that scanner there. You have scanning ability to get even more photographs than what you already have.
Yeah, we can do that. We have the scanner now, and we can do just about any artifact, document, anything like that. So even if you don't want to give it to the museum,
Right.
we can scan that, input that, and if years later they would like to add that, we can do that too.
Very good.
And I'll just mention, on the Google form, we also created a space where you can upload any photographs or documents that you'd want to, and it gets saved in the Historic Commission shared drive to then be able to be manipulated later, so.
You put this together in record time because it seems like 2 weeks ago I attended that meeting and you were first talking about it.
This was Kelly's
Well done.
idea.
No, it's a big group effort. It's Len's ideas and the committee that I joined that's
And-
helping it out.
And don't forget, we have the flea market week from Saturday, Saturday and Sunday.
We have 50.
50 vendors now.
Yeah, 50 vendors now.
Yep. So everyone come on out.
That's the day after that. That's following that
2 days.
bigger event.
2 days.
Yeah,
2 days.
2 days after. All right, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor. Rima Gusson-Quant. I'm here for one reason only today. I would like to go ahead and maybe start seeing if we have issues within our city, like the scams that are going on right now that you are receiving in the emails about how many of you own traffic tickets. How many of you own and owe the state of Florida toll? That is being heavy. And there are people right now being scammed. And I would like to start seeing something up here, maybe the police are coming up here, and start telling the citizens of really what's happening. Same thing with Medicare. And same thing with all the people who are trying to buy our homes. Really, it's just the scams out there. We got to be very, very careful. But some of our seniors, they're not in that position. They don't even understand. It's all over Detroit news today. A couple of senior citizens got scammed. We got to take care of our citizens. We got to take care of ourselves, our families. We have to somehow, I don't know how to put an end to this, but maybe as a city, if we get together and start to go ahead and start going after the state and the feds and tell them, hey, put an end to it. Protect us. And the only way to do it is for us to start to say something. And maybe by us talking and getting up here and talking and voicing our opinions to our state reps, maybe something can be done. I think it needs to be done now. Don't have that authority to tell them this. I can just say, hey, be careful. But I'd like to see maybe our police officers or maybe our police chief or even our fire department come up here and start saying, hey, be careful. This is what we're hearing. This is what we're seeing. And it definitely is a scam. Also at this time, I want to thank Tim for I feel, a very good presentation about our taxes, something that we need to know also. So with that, I want to thank you very much. You have a great day.
Thanks, Ray.
Well, if no one else is coming forward, we will close public comments.
Is it open?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's public comments, yes.
Hello. Hello. My name is Kim Musio. I live on Meyer Street, 15671. This is my neighbor. I have been dealing with my next door neighbor for about 6 years.
At least.
If not longer. I have pictures. We've called the city. She's talked to Mayor McLeod.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
She,
And who is
Paula,
she?
Paula has called and
Paula,
talked to you.
what is your
Bentley.
name? Paula who?
Bentley. And I live across the street from him, so
I have
this guy.
pictures.
Well, if you would please give the pictures to Mr. Mizzy.
I've called ordinance. I'm born and raised here in Allen Park. We both won the Beautification Award on our blocks.
Yeah, we have.
I'm living next to rat infested. Nobody's doing nothing. He's in his 40s. He's not disabled.
My husband is 80 and gets out and takes care of our yard.
We've seen rats.
The rats just walk down, his property or his porch, just like they belong there.
Nothing has been done. I've talked to Kenny, the ordinance officer.
I have to.
I've called. I'm not one of these people, but it's not fair when I pay taxes and I have to live. None of you would live, when you see these pictures, will live next to this. I'm also a bus aide for Allen Park, special needs kids. I ride around the city. Nobody's house looks like this. It's nobody's doing anything.
You see better than that in Detroit.
It's bad. And that's what I'm here. I didn't want to do this, but I can't get answers. Nobody's doing anything.
I'm sorry, you said Meyer Street?
Yes, Meyer.
He's at 15681, that's his
Yeah.
address.
And mine's 16850. Oh,
I'm 15671. I live right next door to him.
Is
And
that
we're right
behind
across
the
the street.
Arby's, or is that farther down?
We're between Quant and Allen.
Well, we can look up where it's actually situated, and we will take a review and see what's been done and what violations have been issued to the gentleman.
we've seen stuff to see somebody come out, it looks like a city truck, and they go up and post something on the door, and
Nothing happened.
he doesn't come out.
Oh, we will
It'll sit there
definitely
for a
have
week.
someone follow up on that and see
Well,
what's
don't
going
call
on.
Kenny, because he doesn't follow up.
Please, we don't want to have any comments made about personnel, if you would, please.
Okay.
We will investigate to see what's going on there.
All right.
We would
Definitely.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
You guys can keep the pictures, and I hope something's done, because
Yeah.
it's, you know, I
This
pay
is our last
taxes, I'm a
resort.
widow, I keep my house up, and I can't even take my grandkids out in the back.
Yeah, because you're
There's
afraid of a
rats.
rat coming out.
Last year, there were feral cats with kittens living between the houses, so I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, City Council. My name is Bridget. I live on Philomene Boulevard. I know we're not really here to discuss the sheets proposals, et cetera, this week, but I just did want to make one quick comment here. My neighbors and I went to the City Planning Commission meeting, and oddly enough, they said, "Oh, that's not for here. You need to take that to City Council." And I thought, they just told us we need to talk to you, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But my biggest concern is that the planners, despite all of the public comments and concerns, did approve the motion to proceed with sheets as they planned, and give them pretty much actually everything that they're asking for. With that said, I just want to make one statement, because it's going to come down the pike to you guys. And I've been doing a lot of research about ordinances and how and when they should be granted, and what the state guidelines or rules are on granting variances when you have ordinances. And it's my understanding that cities aren't just supposed to say, okay, you can have 78,000 gallons of fuel tank capacity behind residences' homes because you want it. It can't be due to something that's inconvenient for the person who made the application. I have been looking into a lot of other neighboring areas, Columbus, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, where Sheetz has also been expanding rapidly. And it turns out that they are willing to make a lot of concessions when they have to. They are willing to close their drive-through at night. In Toledo, they offered to do away with the drive-through completely. They have offered to reduce their fuel capacity. But for some reason in Allen Park, they're not willing. It would be too much of an inconvenience to close the drive-through at night for the residents. This is what they said at the planning meeting. So I'm not understanding why in Allen Park they're not willing to bend with us a little bit. And the other thing that I notice is that in all these other cities where there's a lot of residential area, the council is voting with the residents. And if they go on Eureka or off of 94, come on, no problem. Nobody's giving them any trouble about that. So I just want to say that, when this comes on the table for you guys, I'm hoping that you'll ask a lot of questions as to why they were granted variances for things like building a gas station within 200 feet of an existing one when the ordinance says that you can't have one within 500 feet. Because unless it's a hardship or the business can't operate without that, maybe that's why the ordinance is there, because it's not supposed to create a hardship on the other businesses. So I'm not really sure where this is going to go when it gets done with the zoning board, et cetera. But I just wanted to bring it to the forefront that these are the questions that residents are going to want to know answers to if they just give them a blanket variances for everything that they're asking for, despite the community concerns. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well, if no further people are coming up, we will now close public comments and move on to the consent agenda, which tonight consists of claims and accounts and the payroll report. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Nick, second by Mr. Barr. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We move on to our resolutions. The first resolution is to approve Michael Klein on behalf of Comcast Cable, Xfinity, for door-to-door solicitation permit request number 1-2025 with a $300 fee. The permit will end 12/31/25. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wurtzbacher,
Second.
second by Mr. Valerius. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 2 is to approve Michael Manhire on behalf of Safe Streets USA, which is an ADT dealer, for door-to-door solicitation permit request 2-2025 with a $300 fee, permit to end 12/31/25. Motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Valerius.
Second.
Second by Mr. Barr. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 3, to approve Chelsea Carson on behalf of Adkins and Sons, which is a home improvement company, for door-to-door solicitation permit, request 3-2025, with a $300 fee, permit to end 12/31/25. Motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Barr.
Second.
Second by Mr. Valerius. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 4, to approve Frank Mastriani on behalf of Rocket Offer, which is a real estate offers, not to be confused with Rocket Mortgage, for door-to-door solicitation permit request 4-2025 with a $300 fee, permit ending 12/31/25.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Valerius.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wurtzbacher. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 5 is to approve the outdoor event application for the Streeteries Celebrating Summer's Start event to take place on Saturday, June 28th, from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. Motion, please.
Motion.
Man, everyone.
Everybody did
Guess,
not
guess,
have-
guess we know where everyone's gonna be on the
Let's
28th.
start. Okay, who wants to make the motion?
I think
Go
Ed
ahead.
did.
Ed made the motion. Who second? Mr. Valerius. Comments or questions? I think people were familiar with the chili event that they had, which was very successful. And the nice thing about the Streetery is that they involve other businesses, even competitors. So this is very good for the city. And I will ask for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. Resolution 6, to authorize the city administrator to sign the renewal of the Michigan Uniform Video Service Local Franchise Agreement with Comcast of Taylor. Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Barr.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wurtzbacher. Basically, this is a renewal of an existing contract, and I believe this ties in with the broadcast on our local TV stations, et cetera, of these meetings. And it's nothing unusual, as far as we can tell. So may I have a motion, please?
We already did.
I'm sorry, yes, Mr. Barr and Mr. Wurtzbacher. Too many lines. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. Next resolution is to adopt the updated Allen Park Emergency Operations Program Local Community Support Plan, and authorize Mayor McLeod to sign the certification form. Motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Barr.
Second.
Second by Ms. Nick. What this is when we have personnel changes, this is something that Wayne County requires from us. It's many, many pages, and I need to gather, once this is approved, signatures. We do not publish it because of the confidentiality of information in it. And because we've had many changes, we waited for the last one to be filled. And so finally, the form is complete, and I need to get that to Wayne County. And I will catch anybody I can in the next few days to sign off on those pages so we can get them the finalized document. Does anyone have any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That resolution is approved. Resolution 8, and I believe this comes under the DPS department. So make your way up here so we can ask questions and you can explain it thoroughly. Resolution 8 is to approve the award for the 25/26 water main replacement bid to Intercity Contracting in the amount of $1,328,373.75 with funds from account 592-540-985-000. Motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Schlack.
Second.
Second by
You give
Mr.
that.
Wirt. We're going to take it all from the right side, the next one will come
Okay.
from the left. Mr. Filipski.
Well, good evening, Mayor and City Councilors. Yes, this is part of our ongoing program to replace water mains annually. So this program this year involves 3 streets, Hanover, Euclid, and O'Connor, or at least portions of those streets, totaling about a half a mile of water main, most of which has been, it's aged, it's breaking more frequently, and importantly also, it was built to a different standard, 6-inch water main, and standard now is 8-inch. So all the water main will be replaced with larger, more appropriately sized water main. And it will affect about 100 services. And like we have in years prior, our engineering, our inspecting contractor will provide notifications to homeowners to the extent that they'll be out of water or otherwise disrupted. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Yes, I have one. Would this be from like the southeast end of Euclid where we adjoin Lincoln Park?
Oh, man, you got me on that one. Because I'm still familiarizing myself with it, so I know the
Right.
extent of it, but to answer that question specifically, I wouldn't venture to guess.
I understand, but my daughter lives down there on one of those streets, and it's not separated by a street. One neighbor lives in Allen Park, and then one next door lives in Lincoln Park.
It's the same line.
Yeah.
But it says Euclid, Ellen, and Corn.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be up
So-
north end.
Yeah, that's the north end. My hood.
Are there any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think the next two are Parks and Rec. Well, we can start making our way up here. Resolution 8 is to waive the city bid process because there's no economic advantage to bid and approve the purchase of playground equipment for the Rourke Tot Lot in the amount of $153,492.12 from Game Time through the Omnia Partnership for Government Pricing with funds from account 401-000-985-004. Motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Nick, second by Mr. Barr.
No. Valerius.
Valerius. Well, both of your lips were moving. Synchronized.
That's how good we are.
That's, I know.
Tell it Milli Vanilli, the lip sync. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
This is basically getting us in line for the 25-26 capital plan that you approved in the budget last month. This will get us in line to about a 6 to 8 week process for the equipment to show up on site. will give us the opportunity to install probably late '25, probably right around when the tax bills are due. So we're just asking you to go ahead and give us permission to go ahead and order it based on the approval that you already gave on the capital plan for '25-26 fiscal.
And Game Time is the company you've been using.
We've been very successful with that. Yeah, we've had great success, yeah. And they're a great partner with us. They team up with the, if you will, Simone Cement for the flooring. They do everything from stem to stern. We've tried some community builds, but this has just been an easier path. We always appreciate volunteerism for sure, but in this situation, they'll handle it from stem to stern and coordinate with Simone Cement for the pour. Just as a highlight though, with the whole intention behind these things, there's almost $85,000 just in the safety tiles on that price, minus the 12 cents at the end. So just to give you some idea on the fall ratio, when you got 8 to 10 feet of fall, there's about a 4-inch, and it's a 10-year warranty on those, and they're individual pieces. In case we have one vandalism or anything like that, we're able to extract one, replace one instead of the entire flooring. So that's kind of the way we've gone over the last probably 8 to 10 years in the safety tiles. But I just really wanted to highlight that these aren't inexpensive, of course, but over half of it's in the flooring or in the surface. So, correct, yeah.
And over time, what you spend on, what you would spend on mulch and the fact that it doesn't provide the safety factor that the tiles do.
Yeah.
More than- Not to mention the fact it's more ADA accessible with the tiles.
Correct.
And I'll mention something on that later on today.
Excellent.
Are there any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, resolution is approved. Resolution 10 is to approve the purchase of a turbine blower from Revels Turf and Tractor in the amount of $10,989 with funds from account 401-009-85004. Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Valerius.
Second.
Second by Mr. Barr. Who's watching that time? Sir.
The best analogy I can use here is manpower gets somewhat cut in half, because when you guys have had fencing in your yards or the neighbors, leaves, debris get stuck. We don't have to walk this any longer. This is a pull behind on one of our gators. It's plenty of power. This is left over from the current fiscal capital. So therefore, we need to move forward on this based on the fact that we can spend the capital. But more importantly, it'll clean up the neighborhoods as far as where we butt up to a resident from the ballpark, like Bacabella, we butt into Lincoln Park. Champaign Park is notorious for the attraction of leaves and debris, just because it sits right there and it's a larger park. So this will allow us to team up with DPS. We'll be able to blow it away from the fence line. We get it close enough to the parking lot and the cement structures. We'll be able to have DPS help us in sucking that up. So, because right now it's a way laborious process with the backpack blowers. So this will give us a great opportunity to hopefully continue to clean as well as we can, even in the fall, most notably the fall. So.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, resolution is approved. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to Pam and Wayne Smith again for a great chili and hot dog at the rec center.
Now we move on to other business. This evening, we will start with the third reading and a public hearing of proposed ordinance number 4-2025. May I have a motion for the third reading and public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Barr, second by Ms. Nick.
Nick.
No,
It's us
one of
two.
you is going to have to change the tone of your voice.
I'll
That's
just
with
change,
Mr.
I'll
Valerius.
change my voice when I respond.
Thank you. That's more like it. Mr. Valerius, Ms. Nick.
Yes.
Correct? Thank you. I don't think that's going to work.
Trying to help you out.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Only when you're making a motion, sir.
Sorry.
All right.
Opposed? We will have the third reading, and then we'll be open for public hearing.
Third reading of proposed ordinance 04-2025, an ordinance of the City of Ellen Park Code of Ordinances, amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 6, Finance, Division 2, Purchasing, by the repeal and readoption of Sections 2-820 through 2-835. Public
We will
hearing.
open for a public hearing now on the ordinance.
So what this ordinance is we already have a purchasing ordinance in place. However, the amount of money that was noted in there with the threshold amounts was quite low. And the charter provides that there can be adjustments based on inflation. So this ordinance incorporates increases based on inflation. And it also clearly specifies that the finance director will be the purchasing director or his or her designee.
So we are open now for public hearing on this ordinance.
Ray McGusson Quant. Can you explain a little bit better? I have no idea what you guys just said. So you're gonna raise what? From what to what and for what purpose? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes.
So there are certain requirements for competitive bidding, and there are thresholds with respect to bidding. And the thresholds were quite low, so those thresholds have been adjusted to account for inflation.
Could I ask a question? When was the last time the ordinance? Do we know? I think it's been decades since that was changed.
It coincided with one part of our charter when it was passed in 1999.
Okay, so there's been a little inflation since 1999.
So through the chair.
Yes.
So as it reads, this is any bid of $9,570 or over shall be accompanied, right? Or that's the number.
Correct.
The threshold change, correct?
There's
Yeah.
actually a few threshold
Yeah.
changes throughout the ordinance.
So, and then the public works projects of less than $28,711.64 is another figure.
Through the chair, it's stated in the charter that there is a certain formula you go off of. I'm trying to find, I don't have it in front of me, but it does state that this should be adjusted with time at this rate.
So I think the one section that kind of hopefully gives Mr. McGusson some insight is for purchasers or contracts of $957 or over and under $9,570, the purchasing director shall obtain or require where practical at least 2 competitive quotations. The quotations may be obtained from available or current vendors in writing or by telephone. And that's with the new language in the ordinance.
No one else is coming up. We will close public comments and we will move on to the adoption of ordinance number 4-2025. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Valerius.
Second.
Second by Mr. Barr. Are there any comments or questions? We'll need a roll call vote. Mr. Mizzi?
All right, Madam Mayor, I have a motion by Councilman Valerius, supported by Councilman Barr, to adopt ordinance number 4-2025, an ordinance of the City of Allen Park Code of Ordinances, amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 6, Finance, Division 2, Purchasing by the repeal and readoption of sections 2-820 through 2-835 to update the sections, shall this ordinance pass? Councilman Barr.
Yay.
Councilwoman Nick.
Yes.
Mayor McLeod.
Yes.
Councilman Schlack.
Yes.
Councilman Valerius.
Yes.
And Councilman Wurzbacher.
Yes.
The yeses have it. This ordinance shall be deemed passed and will be published in a manner prescribed by law.
Thank you. Now we will go on to closing comments, and Mr. Estheimer.
Thank you, Mayor. Just really quick, I wanted to go through just a couple quick items. Number one, tonight, my daughter and her fellow 8th grade class are celebrating their 8th grade farewell dance, along with Mr. Mizzy's son. So I'm wishing them a great time and also good luck entering high school next year. Also, a happy birthday to Mr. Mizzy, who's turned 71 today. Looking fantastic, looking fantastic. A shout out to members of my church and the Booster Club for Cabrini for an outstanding Cabrini festival. Ironically, I celebrated my birthday weekend at the festival, so I was there pretty much every day. It was a fantastic time. A little sad visiting that Italian booth and not seeing Mr. Lally there, I can tell you that much, but they did a great job in that booth as well. Overall, excellent job, and shout out to Cabrini. I'll keep the shout-outs going for our Allen Park DDA. Their Music in the Streets program kicked off last week, and it was a success. There was a lot of people back here. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, there is on the DDA website, they do have, and on their Facebook page, they advertise these events. But there's Music in the Streets. Ed has a copy up here. There's Music in the Streets throughout the summer, and it's right in the parking lot of our the hockey arena here. So you'll be driving by and you'll see that stage out there. That's what that's set up for right now. So congratulations to them there. Also, we have a car show coming up. It's, is it this Saturday, Ed? Wednesday. I mean, next Saturday? Wednesday. Or next Wednesday, pardon me, next week on Wednesday, thank you. So that ought to be fantastic. I should get my story straight since I was asked to be a guest judge for that, so I gotta know when to show up. Then if Ben could set me straight on that, I'd appreciate it. And lastly, a shout out to all of our residents. We spoke briefly about the Beautification Commission today, but as of June 1st, all those adopt the flower beds around the city needed to be planted, and they look amazing. If you drive down Wick, for instance, and take a look, they're just beautiful. So thank you to our residents who continue to adopt those flower beds, care for them, water them on a daily basis. I joined that group this year. Our flower bed was dedicated to my late parents, and it's right outside of Cabrini, so was great to find that location. But so thankful to be in that group and for that group of concerned citizens that could take the time to make our city look great. And with that, I yield.
Thank you. Ms. Nick.
Okay, well, I wanted to give a couple shout outs. The Kids Day that Kiwanis put on over at what we know as the Barney Park, they had, they said more people than they've had in past years. They gave out 400 hot dogs. And the kids had like 6 different crafts, which were really unique to do. Then, and last minute, I wanted to thank police and fire for coming in. I know the fire was making runs that morning, but they still, Richard Hamilton and Captain Ken McLaren came, and they were there for about an hour with the truck. They gave out hats, those rubber bracelets, and they were great with the kids. The kids were really excited about seeing the fire truck. With the police, they were also making runs, but Jaden came over and with her the police car and had that open, so all the kids were going in and seeing it, and she really had a really good rapport with the kids. They really were excited about it. So thank you to the police and the fire for coming out last minute. I know you were making runs. And then also, happy birthday to Mike and Tim for this weekend. And then if you went down this weekend to the Cabrini Festival, there was a group of boys that were, and this is a positive, that were our new entrepreneurs of Allen Park. They were doing a lemonade stand. And so I've always stopped to help kids with their lemonade stands, but I have to tell you, their strawberry lemonade was the best I have ever had. I stopped when we were doing work at the Historical Museum, going through artifacts, and I was watering the grass and, flowers and different things. So I did stop 3 times that day because it was a really hot day. And when I pulled up the 3rd time, the boys came out they had it in a pouch. They go, "Here you go, we got your order ready." And so I was gonna give them a shout out. So their names are Colton, Carson, Lyle, and Steven. And they were the most respectful, nice kids that I've met, and their dad was sitting on the front porch watching them. They did finally give me their recipe, but they made me swear I wouldn't tell anybody. So I won't tell anybody, guys. But I just wanted to give a shout out to them. So, and that's all I have. Thank you very much, and have a good night.
Thank you. Mr. Valerius.
I'll continue with the shout outs. I wanted to thank Kyle Carr for meeting me up at the community center and giving me a personal tour of the new Zamboni. And I did told Mr. Fulton today that I will be learning to drive that thing. So someone said it could be my retirement gig. I can't wait that long, so I'll just learn to drive it now. So I posted, it just said, there's a lot of cool vehicles out there, a lot of really cool exotic cars and everything else, but just something about a new Zamboni is just, it's pretty cool. Tomorrow basically is my last day of my 22nd year teaching. And my wife actually ended her 28th year teaching on Friday, so it's 50 combined years for her and I as teachers. I just wanted to say I've attended over 20 graduation ceremonies, including my school, Woodhaven High School's graduation ceremony last night. We did get rained on a little bit, but overall it was a great ceremony, and I never get bored attending these graduations and watching kids move on past their high school years. So I just wish everyone safe and enjoyable summer to all my fellow teachers and all the students throughout our state. And with that, I yield.
Thank you. Mr. Barr.
Going to keep this short. Not only is the Saturday the U.S. Army's birthday, it is also Flag Day. Please, if you have a U.S. flag, fly it. That's part of the reason why we're here. I don't know if we ever discussed about Moros. I just found out about it. They're going to be missed. They've had some delicious meals. Other than that, be careful, watch out for the kids on the streets because, school's out. And I yield.
Thank you. Mr. Slack.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to wish happy birthday to Tim and Mike on their birthdays. I wanted to say thank you for Cabrini for hosting their festival. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get out and to go to it this year. And that's where I lead to saying thank you for everyone that sent well wishes for my wife as she's recovering from her surgery. So that's where I've been spending the better part of the last 2 weeks doing her job, my job, and everyone else's job in that house. I want to say, Tim, that was a fantastic tax lesson. I think a lot of people could take a lot out of that. I think it was very beneficial, so I thank you for that. And I also, before we get to summer, I want to wish all the fathers, grandfathers, past and present, a very happy birthday, especially everyone that I serve with here on the dais. So very happy Father's Day this coming Sunday. So hope you enjoy it and hope it's a good day for those that are fathers like myself and those on here that are no longer either father with them, that you will think of them in their memories and everyone else in Allen Park. So, and with that, I yield. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wurtzbacher.
Thank you. Since our last council meeting, I attended with the mayor and Councilman Dan Lloyd. Dan was a speaker at the Allen Park Lutheran Church, the baccalaureate.
Presbyterian.
Presbyterian, I'm sorry. I stand to be correct. Baccalaureate service for the graduating seniors. And I was quite taken, to be honest with you, of the maturity of the speakers, these students. They were so insightful. They had direction. where they want to go. They understood where they came from, where they're at, and how they got there. And I left there that evening, and I thought, you know what? We're in pretty good shape with this younger generation, without question. You hear a lot of bad, the kids on Park Avenue or whatever. You know what? They're a small group that make a lot of noise, like those annoying cicadas, okay, if you will. But, overall, the majority, it's pretty darn good. Next up, Allen Park Citizen Civic Fund, the 19th this month. It's a Thursday evening. From 6 to 9, we'll be hosting the Taste of Allen Park. Allen Park Citizen Civic Fund is a 501(c) nonprofit organization. All the funds go back into the community. Previous years, the Parks and Recreation has benefited the fire department, the police department, and of course the public library. Come out and support. There's going to be a lot of, we're going to have a Mexican theme this year. A couple of the Mexican restaurants in Allen Park are participating. We're going to have, from Spain, a variety of wines, and plus the brews from Mexico. Then we're going to have other brews and wines from around the globe and locally as well. Would like to thank Sophia, the journalist from the News Herald, on her article that she wrote about the Allen Park Public Library. The programs that Brandy and Sandy have developed there for our youth, I think, are surpassed by none. And I thought it was fantastic that it was brought forward. To me, that's a story that you see at the end of ABC World News Tonight on a Friday night, America's heroes. That we have so many kids that before reaching kindergarten have read 1,000 books. That says volumes. The programs that they have now to have, read 300 books by high school. It goes back to what I'm seeing hand in hand with these speakers I seen at the Allen Park Presbyterian Church. It's by no mistake. And I think that we need to continue with the resources into our public libraries. I think the teachers at Allen Park Public Schools and the other schools are doing a dynamite job. These kids are so more advanced than I was when I graduated I won't say when, but we didn't have computers then. But on an upswing here, another upswing, Allen Park Car Show put on by the DDAs this Wednesday. Get out there, walk around. You're going to see some fantastic automobiles. I've been a car junkie since, before I could probably crawl. And I get the biggest kick. Tim and I are going to be judges again this year at seeing these vintage cars out there. And the number of these vintage cars are dwindling away. And so get out there and support the community, and it's a great time. Mike Bodell, I will assume, will probably be back again as a DJ. And, he has the classic vibe music blaring and everything. And it's a great time. I have a blast doing it. I already spoke with Chief Feltz about this. This, again, rolls back to since our last council meeting. I was in Maryland on business, and I went out to dinner, and I come back to my hotel room, and 10 o'clock, I turn on the 10 o'clock news to catch the news, and what's the third story? a police situation in Allen Park, Michigan. I almost fell out of the chair, okay? I was not ready for that. But the way that it was handled, I can't sing enough praises for our police department and anyone else that responded to that. It was handled perfectly. Regardless of what they say on social media, you should have taken them out with a whatever, but it could have ended worse. And mental illness is a horrible thing. Drugs are a horrible thing. It's a horrible cocktail when they're mixed together. But everybody walked away safely. Your officers, anybody in that entire vicinity, and plus the person that really, really needs help. And last but not least, he took off. Happy birthday to Mike. I already said happy birthday to Tim online. There's Mike. And with that, I'm running out of breath and I yield.
I'm running out of time. I will make this brief. I gave everybody happy birthday wishes. We don't sing here, so it's a good thing. There's I think it's fitting, and I'm sorry that Mr. Lloyd isn't here. A big shout out to our teachers, particularly on council, but every teacher out there and everyone that I've ever had. I learned the most from the toughest. I remember getting one teacher for a class and they said, "Oh, you got this one." It's like, was one of the best teachers I ever had because she demanded things from you. But I want to share something. Today I made a visit to the first grade, one of the first grade classes at Lindeman Elementary, because the teacher and the teacher's aide there had sent me a book with their cover letters, and then notes from every one of the first grade students about Moore Park with pictures. And I read every one of them, and I got back with a letter to her that she had read to her students on Monday. But I thought if I can fit this in, I will go visit them. And I have to tell you, it was an amazing group. And you talk about the future and some of the things that children are learning nowadays. And we're looking at first graders. And the thoughts that they put down and the things they brought to my attention. And I let them know that what they stated was important, things were being looked at, and that we were working on things. And I also encouraged them to continue doing what they were doing as they moved on through school. They had some really good, interesting questions too. Amazing, you're standing there with first graders. So it kind of ties in with our schools and our parks and rec. But one of the things that struck me, one of the young ladies there, because we talk about making our parks more ADA compliant. She has cerebral palsy and she has braces, and one of her classmates asked, would there be a playground for her that she would be able to access? She didn't ask. It was one of her first grade classmates. And it struck me that the things that we are doing here to improve our parks are so, so important so that we can include and understand that there are all kinds of people out there who want to have fun just like everyone else. And the more we can do to make sure that happens, the better off we will be. And we will continue to be viewed as a really, really good community. So there's probably a few other things I'm going to forget, but Ed, I will mention another connection that was there when I went into the office at Lindeman. There was an individual who was one of the speakers at the baccalaureate, and we got to chatting about some of the talent that was there. And one of them was a young man who played a piece from Chopin on the piano, which was quite impressive. And when I inquired about him, found out that he is just a freshman, and so with lots of medals. And I understand that he's currently the valedictorian, so we will see where he ends up. But again, as Ed commented, have gone to a lot of these ceremonies, always impressive. Missed the fact that they didn't have one last year. looking forward to the next ones, but we've got a lot to look forward to. With that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Valerius, second by Mr. Wurtzbacher. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:16. Thank you all very much.